Hello and welcome to this tutorial on validation rules. The validation rule field uses a set of rules on a calculation statement to check data that has been entered and validate if it is correct. If the rule defined returns false, the data is considered invalid. If the rule returns true, the data is valid. You can also add a warning text to display to the user if the data is invalid. For the validation rule, we have to use a statement that returns a true or false value. Otherwise, the system will ignore it. Let's look at an example. We have a class form here. It has a calculated value that computes the total number of students in the class. In our school, a class cannot have less than 10 students. Therefore, if the total number of students is a value less than 10, we assume the data entry has a mistake and flag it. We will add a validation rule below total students. Then enter the calculation statement as _t student greater than equal to 10, and enter a warning text to display if the condition is false. A class cannot have less than 10 students. Let's see this in action on the data viewer. If we have student totals that are less than 10, in this case it's 0 because we have not added any values, the warning text is displayed. If we enter student numbers that are more than 0 but still less than 10, it is still displayed. If we enter student numbers that total to 10, the warning text disappears. Let's resume the below 10 status. We can still save the form with the invalid data. If we do not want users to save forms with invalid data, we will make the validation rule field mandatory. Let's go to the form builder. On the default tab of our validation rule, we will check the setting mandatory. Let's save and go to the data viewer. If we enter a value that is less than 10 and save, you can see that the data point is not saved. A pop-up appears with our warning text and we cannot save. We have to edit and add data that passes the validation rule to be allowed to save. If the validation rule is not true, it will show the warning. If there is a syntax error or some values are undefined, the warning message will also be shown, not ignored. This can become a challenging scenario. Suppose two date fields are being compared and one of them is undefined. It will trigger the warning message. Note that this problem does not occur for integer and float fields, since they have a default value of 0. The recommended action to take against the unnecessary warnings is to give fields used in validation rules calculation statements default values whenever possible. Alternatively, you can add a not check to ensure a value has been provided before comparing. For example, to compare two date fields and check if one of them has been given a value, you can use a statement like this. Not _r date or opening brackets moment, opening brackets, _r date, closing brackets, greater than equal to moment opening brackets underscore a date closing bracket, where moment is a library for converting dates in various formats. It converts the date fields into milliseconds and then compares them as numeric values. If we go to the data viewer, you can see that the return date has a default value, just like we set it to, and there is no warning message despite the arrival date having no value. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you have further questions, contact us at support@poimapper.com.